Hello, this is Sheena Graham. Thank you for joining me. I am spending the entire year of 2016 discussing all the different methods that I have been learning on how to maintain an inner peace and happiness throughout everything that I'm going through in life. And so, if that's something that you want to join me in, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. All right, so this week, what I want to discuss is living without complaints. And it's something that I've practiced like very early on in my self-education journey. And it was a huge eye-opener for me. And it was also one of the hardest things, one of the hardest things that I had to do because I was really, really, really going through a tough time at that time. I was going through a separation, and I don't know if you've ever been through anything like that, but it's not easy, especially if you have a child with that person, and it's definitely one of the biggest growing experiences I've ever had in my lifetime. So, the thing though is that when we're going through these problems, when they're like the toughest thing that we ever go through, we like to talk about them. We like to tell people about them. We like to tell them how they make us angry and why we're right and that person's wrong, or why we know we're wrong but that person's wrong too. And it's this thing. It's just building up inside of us, and we have to get it out. We have to vent. And what I learned is that it's venting. It's you're not really getting rid of the problem by talking about it. It actually, when you talk about anything you talk about, you put more energy into that, and it actually attracts more of that into your life. So, I was a little bit skeptical of this, but I was willing to try anything to turn my life around and become more efficient at, being a happy person and maintaining my emotions through everything that I go through. So I had to prove it. So I tried this, and the funny thing is that I was in an environment on a daily basis to where the people that I were around in the morning time, mind you, they all had problems too. And what happens when people have problems? We get together and we talk about them. So I found myself talking about my problems every day during a time where I was trying not to talk about my problems. And I realized that I just couldn't be around that anymore. So I literally removed myself any way that I could from anyone who I knew was going to talk to me about their problems, because I couldn't resist talking about mine as well. So anytime I would come around a friend or somebody and I was going through something, I would just, I would shut my mouth. It was so hard because, you're feeling that pain, you want to express it, especially, I've done a lot of things in the artistic side. I love art, and I love being expressive. So, not expressing this anger, it was really, really hard, but it really did work. It really helped a lot. Like, I just started practicing it for a week, and trust me, man, it's been like 2 years since I first did that. So I'm not perfect, and I have to remind myself again, and I get into the habit again, and I do remind myself, from time to time, like, hey, this is not helping. And then I have to start not all over. It's not as hard now as it was when I first started. But definitely something that if you're looking to maintain inner peace, stomp those problems out, stomp that fire out. And I mean, really, why would anybody want to do this? What is the purpose of not talking about your problems? What is the purpose? Well, because I have goals personally. I have dreams. I have aspirations that I am working towards. So when I'm putting energy into this thing that's not benefiting my goals, it's literally holding you back. It's holding me back from gaining anything, from my potential in life. Holding on to anything, any grudge. If you want more out of life, it's so worth it to just let that go. It's so worth it to just let that go, because the one person you're harming is yourself. So I would practice on it, and another thing. Goals is something that I want to talk about next week. Thank you for watching. If you think I missed anything or you have anything to add, please let me know. I would love to hear it. And besides all of that, have a wonderful day. Thank you. When you're talking about your problems, we talk about how, okay, it attracts more of that negative stuff in your life. And the awesome thing about is not complaining, not talking about your problems. What actually ends up happening is that you're not focused on those things anymore. They're still happening, they're still going on, but your focus isn't there. Your focus is on something good, something positive. And it's crazy because no matter what, these things always tend to sort themselves out. One way or another, they tend to sort themselves out. And when you're just positive, when you're not focusing on that, when you're focusing on solutions, or if you can't change it, you're focusing on, things that, that you're grateful for, or, goal that you want to achieve, life just starts to move forward like a train. I mean, how easy do you think it is to stop a train? Not very easy. If you're having a bad day, or if you're having a bad moment, don't let it be a bad day, because when you decide to just have a good day, when you just decide, I'm going to go out and just smile and just have a good day, I'm not going to think about these problems, I'm not going to talk about them, I'm not going to give them energy, things that you want out of life, that you need, I don't know, it's just for some reason, these people, they're attracted to you. And I don't know if I have time to add this story, but I remember I was having a hard time finding daycare for my son. I was just doing really bad with money at the time. The job I had, it was paying me barely anything, but I was happy to be working. But I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then the next morning I said, you know what? I'm just going to get up and I'm going to go to work with a smile. And I did. I mean, I was crying the night before. But that day I decided I was going to smile. And I did. I smiled at every single person I could. And I was feeling good. And then all of a sudden, I ran into this guy and I found daycare. Like, I had been looking for months, and they told me that everything was closed. There were no openings for anything. And I literally found daycare, one spot, one opening in the area that I needed it to be in. So I truly, honestly believe that if I had decided to just think about my problems, because you can complain in your head, I decided that I was going to focus on, having a good day. And so I did. And in that moment, in that day, I got what I needed. And it made it that much more worth it. It let me know that if I continue these actions, that things like this will continue to happen to me. Ain't that awesome?